Look, there's no denying that I love my fragrances. I've worked hard on building this collection up over the past few years here. Now, admittedly, I have a few fragrances, or a good amount of them, that I don't care for, and I bought them because I have a channel, and so I cover stuff like that. And actually, a lot of those fragrances are still in boxes. I haven't even unpacked them because I really don't have a use for them. So if you were to think about it, if those fragrances were taken away from me, or destroyed, or burnt in a fire and I couldn't get them, I wouldn't be that upset about it. But some of these fragrances back here on this shelf, and 10 of them right here on this table, are fragrances that I would severely miss if I had to start over from scratch. And that's what this video is all about. Today I have 10 fragrances that I would purchase right off the bat if I had to completely start over. If all of my fragrances were wiped out, if I had not a single cent left, I would start and add all of these to my cart and buy these 10 right out of the gate because I really can't live without them. In a way, a lot of these fragrances here are kind of a part of me. You know, they're fragrances that I've been through a lot with. They're scents that really resonate with me. There are a couple obvious ones, but I also went through and looked at some that maybe weren't so obvious, right? Just to make it a little bit different for you, because if you've been around on the channel for a while, it'd be easy to predict. 10 fragrances here. They will all be linked up down below if you want to check them out there. Let's crack right into it. First up, we have L'Homme Ideal Extreme by Guerlain. Let's get a good look at this, right? It's extreme. L'Homme Ideal Extreme. It's got to be right there so you can see it. Tobacco, almond, and plum is what this one is all about, and it's an absolute masterpiece. Such a great scent. It's one of the best in the line, easily, and something that's truly remarkable for me. I remember when this first came out, you know, I knew I was going to like it. I knew I was going to enjoy it. And when I smelled it for the first time, it was an instant love. Like, I did not have to revisit it to see if maybe I would like it more. I was hooked right out of the gate. This stuff here is really well done. For me, it's one that I enjoy a lot in the cooler weather, fall, winter, spring, early spring, that sort of thing. And it's a fragrance that at this point, I really can't live without. If everything was wiped out, this one would be one of the first to come back into my new starting collection. Next up, an obvious one, ADG Profumo. Again, this fragrance is kind of a part of me. It's been through so much. It was one of the first fragrances I purchased when I was getting started, and I believe the first like high-end fragrance that I purchased. I think when I was getting started out, I was going with some cheaper ones, and this was like the first, you know, expensive bottle. And this was a big investment for me, you know, back then, paying close to $100 for a cologne. That was a first, and at the time I didn't have a lot of money, so it was kind of like, you know, this is kind of extreme. And so, you know, it's always been a fragrance that I've worn through a lot. Have so many bottles of it, so obviously I'm not going to run out, but if they were to all be destroyed and just, you know, trampled or burned down or whatever, and I had to restart my collection, this would be at the top of my list to get back in. Even though it's winter time right now, I would still want to have it just for peace of mind because I love having this stuff around. Even if I don't wear it, I'll pick it up and smell it often. I do that all the time with this. I just love it, even still to this day. Next up, we have a niche fragrance. This one is Roja Creation-E, or Enigma, whichever one sounds cooler to you. This one has tobacco, cognac, and vanilla as some of the main notes, and a whole bunch of other notes as well. Typically, Roja fragrances have big note breakdowns, this one included. So obviously, if my collection were to be wiped out and I was starting over, Elysium would be one that I would add right away. But again, it's obvious. I didn't want to include too many obvious ones. That's kind of low-hanging fruit. Of course, I'm going to scoop up Elysium again. But, you know, I love a lot of other fragrances from the line, and especially Creation-E. There's something about this one that's so inviting. You know, it has this kind of Coca-Cola fizziness. There's a surprising balance when you smell this one, because when you look at the note breakdown, you may think that it's going to be like so over the top sweet and rich and heavy, and there's a lot of depth to it. But again, with that balance, like I mentioned, which I think makes it a bit easier to pull off for most, and I also think it just makes it a bit more approachable for a lot of people as well. It's got a high-end, luxurious, expensive smell to it like you would expect from the brand. An absolutely incredible scent that I love to wear when it's cold outside. If you want to get one for yourself, I will link it down below to Twisted Lily. You can use my code CHAOS10 for 10% off, meaning you can save basically $30 off of this. And that code works site-wide as well. So if you're in the market for any sort of niche fragrance, check there. I'm almost guaranteed they're going to have it. And again, you can save yourself potentially a lot of money if you're purchasing a lot of things and some expensive stuff. I mean, if you went all out, you could save almost $100 off your order. So make sure you keep that in mind. Whenever you go to Twisted Lily, CHAOS10, 10% off. Next up, a fragrance from Chanel. Not Bleu de Chanel, not Allure Homme Sport, not Allure Homme Sport Extreme, not Platinum Egoiste, not the original Allure Homme, which I almost put in, but you know, ultimately, I wanted to put this one in because it is a fragrance that I do really enjoy, and it's one that took a little bit of time for me to truly enjoy it as much as I do now. It kind of has grown on me over the years, but it smells amazing. This one, of course, is Allure Homme Edition Blanche. So this one has lemon, tonka bean, and vanilla, but really it's all about that lemon up top. Such an incredible opening. I have to spray this one. I sprayed it before I started the video, but I'm going to do it again. Holy crap, is that good. Absolutely incredible. This is one of those fragrances where it just sends an exhilarating amount of energy and happiness through me when I smell it. I mean, that is delicious. The lemon is very zesty and fresh and sour, kind of tart. Immediately following, you get this nice tonka bean vanilla creaminess. I mean, this stuff here is truly no joke. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, it takes me right back to spring and summer, nice, beautiful weather, all of that stuff. And this is a Chanel, so the quality is going to be fantastic here. It has that nice, smooth, typical Chanel delivery, and it has, you know, a bit of a higher-end, luxurious smell to it, like you would expect from most of their fragrances. They all kind of give off a similar feeling. I would pick up Allure Homme Sport. I would pick up Allure Homme Sport Extreme. I would pick up all the Bleu de Chanels. I would pick up Platinum Egoiste. I would pick up this whole line again. If I had to start over, I would. I would buy them all without thinking twice. However, I wanted to put the spotlight on this one because it does get talked about, but not on my channel as much as some of the others. But definitely one that I truly have a lot of love for. This stuff is incredible, and I can't wait to wear it this spring and summer. Next up, Mercedes-Benz Select Night. Vanilla, sandalwood, and lavender are some of the main notes. This is really impressive. Really enjoy it. You know, it has a nice, smooth, amber, vanilla smell in the dry down. The sandalwood gives off a creaminess. There's a little bit of like a floral freshness when you first apply it up in the opening, but that does dissipate pretty quickly, and that doesn't stay throughout the whole fragrance. You know, primarily what you get in the dry down is the vanilla, sandalwood, smooth, creamy sweetness. It's really, really impressive coming from a car fragrance designer brand. It's not synthetic, it's not unnatural, it's not boring. Like it's not a clone of anything. It's unique. It stands on its own here. And I wasn't really expecting a whole lot going into this one just because you never really know. And Mercedes-Benz Select, the original, is an Aventus clone, so I wasn't for sure going into this what it was going to be. So no, it doesn't smell like Aventus. It doesn't really smell like anything else to me. Maybe a little bit of MFK Grand Soir, which sounds crazy, but the vanilla ambery smell that this one has kind of gives off a similar feeling, but that may be stretching it to some. I just get little nuances here and there. All in all, a pretty original fragrance that is not a whole lot of money, and I get a lot of enjoyment out of. So this next one had to be included. I had to put it in here. I'm in love with this fragrance right now, and nothing's going to take me away from it. Nothing's going to stop me from loving this scent. If it gets smashed, dropped, broken, stolen, whatever, I'm hopping online and I'm getting another one and paying same day shipping because I want it now. This is Y Y Parfum, the newest release. Love it. Even though this isn't really kind of fully the time of year to be enjoying this one, it's still one that I have been enjoying. And it's kind of similar to Profumo, where even if I don't wear it every day or, you know, multiple times a week, it's one that I smell almost every day. Every day I'm down here recording, I'm hanging out down here putting videos together. So the shelf is right there. A lot of times I'm going up to this one and Profumo and some of these others and just grabbing it and smelling it because I enjoy it. You know, I'm always testing new things. I'm always just, you know, taking advantage of my winter fragrances right now, so I don't always want to wear this one currently at this time of year. And same with Profumo, but rest assured, I put my nose on this one almost every day. I love this stuff so much, and I'll even spray it sometimes too on a tester strip up in the air to get the opening, because that opening is incredible. Nice juicy fruity apple, some sage, amberwood, lavender. This is an incredible fragrance and even more of an improvement over the EDP. And I thought the EDP was really well done. Still do think that. The EDP is a great scent. I still will wear that one, but this Parfum version just knocked that out of the water and took it to an even crazier level. It's strong, it's powerful, it's sexy and playful, it's a bit more rich and inviting. I love this stuff. Will always have a bottle and would easily grab another one if something were to happen to this. Next up, we have Lacoste L'Homme. This one has rhubarb, orange, ginger, probably some like lemon, maybe some other citrus fruits, some musk, some typical woods. It's a really unique, creamy, fresh scent. Maybe not fresh, well, it is fresh, but not like your typical freshie. I hesitate to call this a freshie because it's creamy and a bit sweet. It almost fits into the same category as the Chanel I talked about earlier, Edition Blanche. Now, they don't smell the same at all, but just comparing categories here, the Chanel, it has that bright lemon, but you wouldn't consider it a freshie really because it's got the vanilla and the tonka bean. While this doesn't have notes of that amount of sweetness, there is a creaminess overall, kind of from how the orange comes across to where it's kind of a hybrid, kind of fits in the middle. To me, this one would be a spring, early summer scent, and also early fall. So I guess late spring, early summer, early fall. Just when the temperatures are kind of, starting to cool off / are a bit more mild. Middle of summer, July, when it's super humid and 100 degrees, I would choose something different. But mild weather, I think, is perfect for this one. Next up, another niche fragrance. This is the last one for this video. I only put in 2. Again, I could have gotten really obvious. You know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you have an idea of what I could have put in here from a brand that starts with the letter C. But I'm not going to do that to you. Nope, not going to do it. But I do have a fragrance from a brand that starts with the letter M. MFK, that is, and that's Baccarat Rouge 540. So yeah, absolutely love this stuff. And it's funny, it's been a while actually since I've worn this and even since I've smelled it. So when I was putting the video together, I went over, I grabbed this when I picked it up. And when I smelled it, and when I still do smell it, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like instant memories just flooding back in because I've had some incredible times with this. I got this a few years back when I was kind of really starting to get into niche collecting heavily, more seriously. This was one that absolutely blew me away, and it's one that I still love. This is a very special fragrance to me. It's also one that's kind of a part of me. It's, I think, part of the reason why I'm here today is just keeping that passion alive going for fragrances. When I was maybe starting to get burnt out on designers and I was moving over to niche, this was one that captivated me. This is one where I'm like, okay, I understand why I'm into this because it's fragrances like this that completely blow my mind. This one's got saffron, amberwood, fir. It's a very transparent, woody, unique scent, light, wispy, airy. Even though I said all those things, it still has kind of a depth behind it. It's got a bit of a complexity that maybe would seem surface level, but really it goes deeper than that. This is a fragrance that I think you really need to spend a lot of time with to really get to know it and to understand all the facets of it. And I think the more you do that, the more you'll fall in love with it, like me. Now, it's not cheap, it's not affordable. I would have no problem buying this one again if it was broken or I ran out or had to start over, whatever. But just understand it is an investment. You can save money on this one as well, where you normally can't elsewhere by shopping with Twisted Lily and using my code CHAOS10. Now, off the top of my head, I can't remember what this goes for. This is the EDP. They have a 70 mil, or you can get a 200 mil. Most of you would just need the 70. So it's a bit more affordable than the straight, like the Pure Parfum. That one is really getting up there in price. But you could save a good amount of money off of this one. Probably, I don't know, $30, $35-ish, depending on what bottle size you get, by using my 10% off code, somewhere around in that price range. Make sure you take advantage of it. I love it. Another obvious one, but it's the truth, and I'm not afraid to admit it. This. Look. Yeah, that. I'm not afraid. Sauvage Eau de Toilette. I mean, look, there's nothing else on this bottle. No EDP, no parfum, no elixir. Just plain Jane Dior Sauvage with the bergamot, the black pepper, the lavender, and the ambroxan. If my collection was annihilated and I was sitting here like, oh, I don't have fragrances, and I was starting over, Sauvage EDT would be one that I would pick up again. This is strange, but it is happening. This basically is starting to pull out. I don't know if I can actually pull it out. People will get mad if I cause damage to my own property, so I'm not going to do it. But yeah, that's a little bit weird. Quality control could be better. This is a Like, I believe it's my newest EDT bottle. It's full. Let's see if I've sprayed it. Let's see. Live on camera. Have I sprayed it? I haven't sprayed it. Look. Ooh. I think it's broken. You've got to be kidding me, guys. I remember what this is now. This is so funny this is happening. This is like a, it's a dummy bottle. I don't know if you could see it. I forgot my buddy Adam sent this to me. It's probably not even going to show up on camera. It's a dummy bottle, so it doesn't actually work. I believe this is real Sauvage inside of it. It's a 2015 batch, but like the atomizer, it doesn't actually work. That's why the cap is messed up. I forgot he sent that to me. It's been sitting there. I thought it was a real bottle, like one you could actually use. It's not. That kind of went a weird turn. I'm sorry for the digression, but yeah, Sauvage EDT, I would buy it again. Although I wouldn't buy it as a dummy bottle, I would buy it to actually wear it. And last up, Rochas Moustache EDP. Rochas Moustache EDP. A little bit of a slur there. A little bit of a tongue twister. But I love it. This is magical. Don't worry about Yves Saint Laurent Y Tuxedo, paying a bunch of money for that. If you can find this, get this. It's a bit hard to find. It goes out of stock because it's so good. Victim of its own success. But if you can get it, get it. It's got pink pepper, vanilla, benzoin, some woods. It's just so unique. It's a clone of YSL Tuxedo. I get that. But the DNA itself is unique, okay? Tuxedo started at Yves Saint Laurent. Good job for you guys. It's expensive. Not everyone wants to pay $250 for a designer scent because at the end of the day, that's what Tuxedo is. Yes, it's from their luxury collection, but it's still a designer fragrance. Not everyone wants to do it. $250 could get you a Parfums de Marly, it could get you a Killian, it could get you actual niche, right? I think we can all agree. So get Moustache EDP if you want something that's very unique, that does stand out, smells great. Alrighty guys, there you have it. That is 10 fragrances that I would buy immediately if my collection was wiped out and I was starting from scratch. I would not waste any time. These would be the first 10 that I would pick up. I would have a lot of ground to cover, but I would start here. Let me know down below, if your collection was just wiped out and you had to start over, knowing what you know now and you still have your fragrance knowledge, what fragrances would you pick up first? Drop them down below. And if you want to grab some of these, I will drop some links down below to discounters, all that stuff, so you can pick them up nice and easy. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. And I'm going to go back to messing with my fake Sauvage bottle. Not fake, but the dummy bottle. And you guys interrupted me when I was having my special time with my fragrances. So, yeah, take care.